Hey guys, what I'm going to be doing today is the first part of Monday's assignments. And if you looked at the agenda, it says on Monday we're going to do small steps. The year I got polio, pages 48 through 50. So I'm going to actually read those to you, and then we're going to be doing ELA lesson 13.1, concluding thoughts, and I will walk with you through those questions. So I'll follow along as I read, and then we're going to answer the questions. So, small steps. The year I got polio. This is chapter 18, Back to School, by Peg. If I mess up the name, I'm sorry. Correct. So, Peg Correct. Okay, in April, after months in the hospital and therapy at home, Peg is finally allowed to go back to school. Did the new braces work? I asked. Dorothy shook her head no. My brothers are building a ramp so I can get in and out of our house. I was glad that she was going home and sad that she would always need a wheelchair. When it was time for us to leave, I hugged Dorothy, wondering if I would ever see her again. We promised to write often, and that promise held back my tears. We had good intentions, but letters between me and my roommates slowed in both directions. There were two new girls and 202 now. About 2 weeks after she was discharged, now remember, discharged means she was allowed to go. 2 weeks after she was discharged, I got a letter from Dorothy. I, I wanted to leave sheltering arms more than anything, she wrote. But now sometimes I wish I could go back. Isn't it silly? It wasn't silly for me. We were safe as sheltering arms, cocooned in room 202, where everyone understood what it was like to have polio. Getting around in the normal world, even in our own homes, was more difficult than hospital life. In April, I got permission to return to school. I was still on my walking sticks, but I could go up and down the stairs if I held onto the railings with both hands and someone carried my sticks for me. I was slow because both my feet had to touch every step, but I could make it. Dad brought my backpack. Dad bought me a backpack for my books. I was to start by attending only in the mornings. If I could manage that, I would gradually work up to a full day. I apologize, that was my mother. She's going out of town. Let's see. On my first day back, I was so nervous my hands began to sweat, and I was afraid the stick would slip out of my grasp. What if people never quit staring? What if no one would carry my sticks up and down the stairs for me? What if I couldn't get around in the crowded halls and fell? Worst of all, what if I discovered that I was hopelessly behind the other kids in every class? When I walked into my first period, which happened to be English, the students whistled and clapped and cheered, welcoming me back. All morning, kids bragged, bragged, begged for a turn to carry my sticks up and down the stairs. They offered to help me with my backpack. They walked ahead of me in the halls, clearing space. Without knowing it, I had become a celebrity. Since I was the only person in Austin to get polio that year, the whole town had followed my progress while I was in the hospital. It seemed all of Austin had been pulling for me, hoping I could walk again. Sorry, my mouse got up. Loose on me. Rather than falling behind in my class, it quickly became clear that I had remained equal or even pulled slightly ahead by the end of the morning. I felt sure that I would pass the final exams. My last class of the morning was chorus practice. Thanks to all the songs in the dark, my singing voice was improved, even though I was now used to my stomach muscles rather than my diaphragm. I found my seat and placed my sticks on the floor beside me. I remembered how my skirt had jumped because of my twitching thigh muscle on homecoming day, and how I collapsed in the hall when chorus ended. I had been gone 7 months. I had been gone a lifetime. Although I returned on walking sticks, moving slowly and taking small steps, I knew in many ways I was stronger than when I left. I opened my music and began to sing. All right, that is 48 through 50 reading. If you need to, watch it again. And if you give me a few minutes, we'll put on the questions. Talk to y'all later.